Lars, how do you find fun in having the audition?
Well, here's the thing, Brandon. Fun is fun. What's more fun than fun, right? Is this fun?
Yeah,
Because it's fun, right?
yeah,
We're doing something fun. Fun's fun. Do you ever think how fun is? Fun's super fun.
it is fun, isn't
Fun's probably the funnest thing.
it?
I've never been having fun and been like, no, this is no fun, right?
No,
That never happens. And I've also never been having no fun and thought, oh, this is fun. So fun is fun. That's the bottom line. I mean, again, I think it comes down to who you are as a person a little bit. Like if you decide, oh, I'm going to play a real somber, downtrodden, beat up, disheveled, broken person, and maybe the script indicates some of that, that's in there, but there's always an opposite. That's one of the guideposts that we always talk about in Todoroff's workshops is, okay, yeah. So it's under the theme of don't paint things broadly with one color. Don't look, oh, this is a depressing scene. This guy's depressed and he's about to kill himself. People, when they're depressed, crack jokes. They crack dark jokes. They say funny and little things. And there's
break the tension in the room, right?
Right. So yeah, I don't know what the question. Oh, the question was, how do you find fun?
Yeah.
I
know for me personally, when I'm laughing at something that I did, or like if I'm rehearsing and I say something and I laugh at that, then I know that I know that I'm having fun, and I know that that's something that I want to keep. I know I want to explore how that was said more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. And that's also how I feel about stand-up shows too, where generally if people ask me like, well, how do you know if something's going to be funny, or how do you figure out your material? And generally it's, I'm doing things that I find fun and are fun for me to do. And if I'm having fun, the audience is having fun with me, and it's all good. And that's the same thing with the script is I like, for me personally, I like finding physical things that are fun. If there's a prop, I try and figure out how can I handle this prop in a different, unique way, in a fun way. If there's the obvious way to do it, can I put a spin on it? Vocal variation is a lot of that. You can sing a line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just have musicality, and you can, like, if the line says, "So, how are you?" It could be, "So, how are you?" You know, or
and that's funny.
or it can just be, "So, how are you?" Which sometimes deadpan is also very funny too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not also saying that, oh, to be fun and to be positive, you always have to be like walking around like you're a jester and a joker necessarily.
No.
But I think it's finding opposites is one thing. It's finding. I mean, if we speak in terms of guideposts, which is how we speak in our acting class, it's relationship first, finding love in all scenes, even if it's an argument. It's like, how do you love
There's
this
always
person?
love there. Yep.
And it's, I mean, finding the humor, which is often opposites. It's often importance too. So it's humor. If it's a really mundane thing, like you got to get this coffee and there's only one coffee and you're just, oh my God, I gotta go get this coffee. And you're just hell bent on getting this last coffee. That's a very mundane thing. But if you take it to the level of importance, then the audience is watching you in this life or death trivial pursuit. But it's life or death for you, but trivial for most people. And then it's
always important to try and make sure you're making the strongest possible choice, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's creative choices and possibilities, and you rehearse stuff and see what works and what doesn't work. I would say it's also in terms of guideposts, discoveries. So finding things in the moment, having ideas come to you in the moment, instead of it's just a line in the script. It's oh yeah, that's right. It's also communication and competition, which is big wins and big losses. If you have a scene and you find good news, yeah, you can play it like, oh, that's nice. Or you can be like, oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. And like, what's more fun to do, right? It's like you see people who aren't in competition and who aren't celebrating. If you don't celebrate your wins and or feel a loss, that's not interesting to watch, and it's not that fun. It's like Tom always says this in class as well, is who, like, if you watch two people playing a sport and neither of them are trying, neither of them celebrate after their shots or scores, neither of them get a little frustrated if they're not playing well, then what are you watching? It's not interesting. You're watching nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably what else? Guideposts 11, game playing and role playing.
Yep.
Which is really fun. So what's the game? What's the role between like the two of you? What's the game? Also, an easy one with role playing is anytime your character, you as the character is speaking about someone else, where you're like, oh, let me tell you what he said. Then there's an opportunity to kind of use their voice or their physicality. So, and that indicates your relationship to them. So if you say something like, if I'm like, yeah, Tony says we got to go down and work, like I'm clearly indicating that I don't like Tony, and I'm talking in his voice, or I'm like, oh, you know, my mom, you gotta eat your vegetables, like just silly stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense for the script. And then what else? I'm just literally scrolling through
Mystery and
guideposts right
secret.
now. Yeah, mystery and secret is huge. So are you holding a little secret? Is there a little mischief?
Mischief. Yeah.
13 is mischief. So if you put all those together, everything should be fun. And think of all the scenes and movies you love, even if it's a dark drama and some crazy stuff. Some of the most brilliant scenes that stick with you are just little fun, silly moments that feel good. And it's like, I think love and laughter is something that's undeniable. And when you
Mm-hmm.
feel it and experience it, you're naturally drawn to what you're watching. It's an undeniable human thing. So if you as a performer and as an actor, if you're able to be fun and you're able to get some laughs and bring humor in parts that of the script that no one else saw,
Mm-hmm.
how can they not, like, you're like, they can't not cast you. Almost, you're like, it's that saying that Tom always says, dare them not to cast you. Or like this guy, like he just saw, like, everyone else painted this in two colors, black or white, and he came and used every color palette in the palette and showed all these possibilities. Even if there's stuff that was maybe a little too much, they can dial that down, or yeah, that was funny, but maybe that's a bit too much, let's try one without it this time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's the easiest thing in the world for producers and directors to turn you down a little bit. But if you don't at least show them that you can bring those possibilities and you have that full expression and your vocal variation and your physicality and all that stuff, then they can't cast you, because you're not understanding the job. They need someone who can sort of be the tool to tell the story in as much range as possible. And if they don't see that you're able to if they don't see that range, then they don't see the imaginative possibilities as for you as a performer. So show
Mm-hmm.
that to them
And I
and have
think
fun.
that sort of comes into play when you're applying an idea, which is an actor cannot be too specific.
Tom
Like the
always
more
talks about that.
specific you are, especially with the 15 guideposts that we use and everything else that's going on in the script, the more you extract and the more you make your own, and the more you like apply mischief, the more you apply role playing and game playing and mystery secret and all these like words that we're throwing at you, the more specific, more it will become your piece and only singularly your piece.
Right. And the better you'll tell the story, you're going to have more moments and just more details, and it's instantly going to separate you from everyone else. Like, if you're wondering, well, how do I stand out? It's, you make choices and you find moments that other people don't see, and you use all the colors. You don't look at a chunk of text and be like, "Oh, I'm angry here," and you just
Mhm.
blurb all that angry. You literally look word by word, and you figure out how you're going to, your intention on every word, your vocal variation, and then you match your physicality and you match those words to your body, so that, like Shakespeare says in Hamlet's advice to the players, suit the word to the action and the action to the word, and until it's all locked in there. And then the bottom line is just, fun is fun as well too. Who, like, if I'm casting someone or producing someone, and I'm deciding, okay, I want to give someone a bunch of money, do I want to give the person who seems like insecure and anxiety riddled and not so sure about their self-esteem, Or do I want someone who's going to surprise me with fun stuff for 8 weeks? It's like, there, take my money, come to set and make us all laugh all day long, and let's see all the brilliant things you come up with.